3 years after the case was dropped, Barry Morphew is once again charged for his wife Suzanne's murder. Morphew is now back in custody again and facing new murder charges. 9 News legal analyst Scott Robinson is joining us now as we continue our coverage today. And Scott, Morphew's case was dropped in April 2022. I mean, just days before he was set to go to trial. Remember, everybody's mouth kind of dropped open in the newsroom. What changed? What's different today?
Well, the prosecutorial misconduct in the original proceeding was literally outrageous. What looked to be a key DNA evidence actually wasn't even turned over to the defense in timely fashion. So that's why the case was dismissed. It's noteworthy that these charges are now filed in the 12th Judicial District because the remains were found in Saguache County. And that's why we have the District Attorney for the 12th Judicial District, a different judicial district this time, in charge of the case. But that's why the case was dismissed originally. It was prosecutorial misconduct so pervasive that the judge felt that the case needed to be dismissed.
Yeah, let's talk about the circumstantial evidence here. We're talking about a tranquilizer, according to the indictment, that was found in her bone marrow, that they were able to test in her bone marrow. And the last line of this indictment is it feels pretty like terse and strong. The only person that had access to this specific type of tranquilizer was Barry Morphew. That's essentially the last line of the indictment information here. Talk about that.
It is. Apparently this it has to be done with a prescription to get this particular tranquilizer for deer, and Barry Morphew was able to do that previously in a different state. And the only folks here in Colorado that have had that available to them in 2020 was the Department of Wildlife and Forestry, and it's not their tranquilizer. So the presence of the metabolite in the remains of Suzanne Morphew was extraordinarily powerful evidence. But there certainly is a wealth of other circumstantial evidence which seemingly implicated Morphew in the death of his wife.
Yeah.
But everything is circumstantial, right? Strong, nonetheless. But how easy is it to convict somebody with only circumstantial evidence? What outcome do you see with this?
A jury is told that there's no real difference between direct evidence, I saw this, and circumstantial evidence. And the reality is this: eyewitnesses can be mistaken, and you can misinterpret circumstances, but circumstances are circumstances, and they don't lie, they're not mistaken. So in any case, the fact that a case may be only circumstantial is actually a misstatement. It can be very powerful evidence. And in this case, that included phone records, odd activities attributed to Morphew, and a variety of other factors that sure seemed to implicate him in his wife's death. It was that strange DNA in the glove box of her vehicle that really was a problem, at least initially. And certainly when you read the indictment, it looks like they're downplaying the significance of that DNA, which at least initially was reported to be connected to sexual assaults in 2 other states. We weren't present, obviously, for the grand jury. It's a secret proceeding, but there was testimony seemingly downplaying the significance of that evidence, which seemed key at the time.
Yeah. So he's been picked up in Arizona. He's currently in jail in Arizona right now. What's going to happen in the next coming days, coming weeks with him?
He'll be brought before a judge in Arizona for extradition. Since there really isn't a defense to extradition other than identity, I would anticipate the possibility that he would waive extradition. The bond is $3 million cash, which is a significant bond, but now in Colorado, based on a Supreme Court case, you can't be held without bond even for first-degree murder. So he may be here next week. If he contests extradition, more like several weeks or even several months. But there really isn't much of a defense to an extradition warrant other than proving that you aren't the person that's named in the indictment, which he obviously will be unable to do.
Yeah, he'll be coming back to Colorado then, expectedly. Yep. All right, Scott Robinson, thank you so much.